This is your sign to start practicing your craft. You are drawn to the path for a reason. There are more of us than you think.
So you're interested in fairies, the fae, or noble ones. My first tip is, do not be scared of them. There are many portals that you could find that the noble ones create, they use. You can find their houses everywhere. They house themselves in holes in trees, areas like this, under trees. Anywhere where you see like beautiful moss like this, you know there are noble ones nearby. Sometimes you'll see holes in trees and people stuff rocks in them or they pee in them. That is how you're going to disrespect noble ones. I call them noble ones just out of preference. I feel like they respond better to that than fairies for me. There's a misconception about fairies that they are evil or they are mischievous, and that's not true. If you come into the woods, if you come into nature, and you respect the environment and bring positive energy with you, that's what you'll get in return. If you come in fearful, they're gonna reflect that fear right back to you. Fairies love it when you sing and dance.
Hey, so I'm gonna try to make a potion. I cleansed everything but I decay if that was needed BC I'm outside. I then ripped all the edges toward me BC I want something in my life. I added what I wanted 3 times. I turned the paper and added the date 3 times. Then I turned the paper diagonal and wrote my name 3 times, folded it, and then burned it while thinking of it as much as possible. And then someone told me to bury it, so I did.
Come with me and you'll be in a world of pure imagination. Take a look and you'll see into your imagination. We'll begin with a spin, traveling in the world of my...
So this is love. So this is love. So this is what makes life divine. I'm all aglow, and now I know.
Now I know
The key to all heaven is mine. My heart has wings, and I can...
Hey, are you spiritual?
Yeah, I am spiritual. Are you spiritual?
Yeah, I am. Are you a witch?
Yeah, I'm a witch. Are you a witch?
Yeah, I'm a witch.
Oh, hell yeah.
Alright, fuck yeah.
Well, if you're interested in learning how to forage and not sure where to start, I've got the plant for you. This is called dead nettle or purple dead nettle. It's only got one lookalike, which is called henbit. They're both edible, no toxic lookalikes, which is always a great place to start. You'll be able to recognize it by its boxy stem, the leaf patterns, and those little pink flowers. It's also edible straight off the plant. That tastes a little rustic. They have great medicinal properties and they're a diuretic, so I know a lot of people will dry them out or pick off the flowers and drink them in teas. One of my favorite parts of spring is making a dead nettle pesto, so give us a follow and we'll be making that next.
Hey, it's Erica and I'm continuing my series on alternative herbal smoking methods. Today we're going to talk about a classic, rose petals. Rose petals are known to assist people dealing with nicotine withdrawal as well as decreased depression and setting a sense of inner peace. They act as an aphrodisiac. Rose petals are ideal for smoking when seeking stimulation, a boost in your mood, or relaxation.
Welcome back to Tarot Talk, the place where I help you improve your practice. Let's dive into today's topic, the Celtic Cross Tarot Spread. This is a 10-card pool, but don't fret because it's not as complicated as it seems. I'll walk you through it. Shuffle your cards using your preferred method and draw 10 cards. I drew this to demonstrate. Yes, it may be dorky, but always take notes. Create a T structure out of 5 cards for the first 5 and lay the next 4 vertically next to the first pile. It'll look a little something like this. Come along. 1 is you or the situation at hand. 2 is what crosses or complements you. 3 is the best that can be achieved in the current circumstances. 4 is the reason for the reading. 5 represents the past. 6 is the future. 7 is another aspect of you. 8 is your environment. 9 is your hopes or fears. 10 is the outcome.
I'm gonna show you how to milk a tree. That is the worst phrase I've ever used for tapping trees. Okay, by now we all know you can tap maples for sap. They're old hat. I'm kidding, maples are amazing. Maple industry, don't come for me. But today, we're talking about birch. The cool thing about birches is if a branch is broken, it will leak sap. Someone trimmed a ton of branches off of this birch tree, so I, like a totally sane person, put a bunch of bottles on the broken branches. Straight off the tree, it's a light, nutritious beverage. But due to its fructose content, when you cook it down, that's when the real magic happens. A warning, because birch sap is in season a little after maple sap and it's a little warm and it has a little bit of sugar, it will ferment without your permission. Unrelated, but look at the birch fingies. They're catkins, but they look like fingies. Now let's cook it down, cook it down. And now tree blood jacuzzi that doubles as humidifier and scented candle. And after all of that, you get this. Just this.
This is a brick cap hypholoma. It has a reddish-orange cap, adnexed gray gills, and a stringy stem. It's a great winter edible. Happy foraging.
Let's go foraging for glistening ink caps. They grow in large groups on rotting wood in deciduous woodland, and they have this frilly margin and these thin, long grooves along the cap. It's covered in a dust-like substance called mica when it's dry. The stipe is thin and very brittle, and the gills are black with a slight white colouring poking through.
Okay, quick witch tip. Blue lace agate, make trauma go bye-bye. Like, trauma go bye-bye. Like, she is gone, sweetheart. Something about this rock just makes me want to give everyone a hug.
Mullein is known as the lung plant. It can be added to smoking blends with or without glue to reduce coughing taken orally. It also
I want to teach you some cool plant magic. You can tie yourself or a friend to any sort of plant that you want so that the plant will reflect their emotional state, their mental state. Like when they wilt, so will the plant. My friend gave me one of her hairs to do this with, so I'm gonna do it. You're gonna take the other person's hairs and you're going to tie it around the base of the plant, or you're going to bury it with the seeds. Make sure to cleanse your pot and your plant first. I like to just say a simple incantation for this. Usually this will be, you are bonded to me and I am to you. Whatever I feel, you will too. Put your intentions into the plant while you're doing this, and you're good to go. This is basically so the plant becomes their mirror. When you see it start to wilt, call the friend up. They might need some help. I tied my friend to this yucca plant right here.
rose quartz, immaculate and beautiful. Incense, yes, so goodly. You know what the fuck? Don't you dare. Disgusting. Candles. Yes, bitch. We love a good ass candle. Moon water. Oh, you, yes, you already know. Spirit board. You better fucking not.
Oh, hi! A little birdie told me that you were interested in becoming a witch. The first thing you're going to want to do is research all of the different paths. Next, get comfortable with meditation. Pick up every journal you can find and record every question you ask. Start practicing divination to open up your intuition. You're going to need to learn the history and what the closed practices are. Do color magic with makeup and clothing. The spell you do should be a protection spell.
was running far away. Would I run off the world someday? Nobody knows, nobody even knows. I was dancing in the rain, I felt alive and I can't complain. But no, take me home where I belong. I can't take it anymore.
Ear ringing. What does it mean? Why does it happen? Tinnitus, a pressure in the ears, or a feeling like a seashell is up to your ears. The left side is a spirit trying to communicate. The right side is your higher mind, your psychic ability kicking in. But empaths, especially at the 3rd and the 4th levels, may also get this ringing whenever someone with a really high or a really low vibration comes in too close to them. When both ears are ringing simultaneously, it can mean that you have a lot of messaging coming in. It's really important at that time. It can also signify that you are in the process of receiving a download. And the tinnitus is connected to clairaudient ability, the ability to hear spirits in your head as though it is your own thought.
Oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god. You guys. It's a scarlet elf cup mushroom. 2 of them. One of the few names I approve of because it makes sense. And yes, they're edible. Always cook your wild mushrooms. Don't eat anything you're not sure about. Happy snacking. Don't die.
Witch Mom, what do I do about gossip? We do a tongue binding spell. You're gonna need a representation of the tongue of the person. You want an order for them. Be quiet. You want some cayenne pepper. You want a nail or a pin. You want a black ribbon or black cord. You're gonna take the order. You're gonna roll the nail or pin up in it. Put that in the middle of the tongue. Sprinkle it with a little cayenne pepper. Bind the tongue saying these words. I bind your words. I bind your tongue. I control how you speak of me. If ill you speak, then cursed you'll be. Your tongue will burn with pain like pins until you turn your words so that kindness wins. Put this on your altar for about a week. Take it somewhere and bury it or throw it away, far away from your house.
This is a super simple rainwater spell. The first step is to collect some rainwater. Now speak positive affirmations directly into your rainwater. It has been scientifically proven that you can cause changes at a molecular level when you do that. You are literally charging the water with your love. Now give all that love back to the earth.
Of course I was manipulating you.
That hurts my feelings. I've been good to you, Dean.
I'm a cop, remember?
But the king's dead. Long live the queen. You need to mind your own beeswax. Kinda always wanted to punch the devil in the face.
Shall we play a game, bitches?
Coming to Myths and Maidens, we've got stones, bones, cones, baskets, ouchie, smaller ouchie, big ouchie, books, magic books, danger noodle, smooth noodle, hello from the other side, wands, does your stone hang low, does it wobble to and fro, cloaks, candles, Buddhas, smell goods, more smell goods, more stones, oils, herbs, Buddha, but stylish. Bards, cards, boop. Come to Myths and Maidens. If it's from another plane, we've got it.
Your mess, ayy. Can't keep my dick in my pants, ayy. My bitch don't love me no more, ayy. She keep me.
Hey there, I have a couple crystals to help you with your sacral chakra, which is right above your torso. If you didn't know that, your spirit guides told me what's going on. I think there's a blockage that you might want to clear up. So I'm going to help you get some energetic cleansing today and clearing. I'm going to send you some Reiki healing energy. You should already be able to feel the purification from the sound of the spell. I'm going to use it to purify my Reiki wand. And now I'm just going to send you some healing Reiki energy. gonna work directly on your sacral. I bet you feel that.
It's getting to be bedtime and my kids are still bouncing off the walls. Come with me and let's make their favorite bedtime potion. This is my take on the classic moon milk. My kids are not a fan of the spiciness of the traditional drink, so this is my own spin on it. I'm gonna start with a cup of milk. Then in my little tea strainer here, I have half a tablespoon of chamomile and half a tablespoon of lavender flowers. I stir in my intentions for sleep and then let it steep. It already smells so good. Once all the herbs are strained out, then I add a little bit of coconut oil, a teaspoon of unsweetened cocoa powder, a teaspoon of vanilla extract, and just a pinch of Himalayan salt. Stir in those intentions for sleep. Finally, draw a sleep sigil in it with your honey. Then to serve it, we have a dash of whipped cream with some mermaid sprinkles and gold.
More magic with trees. Trees that form trunks in a circle are prayer trees. What I like to do is I like to step inside the middle of them and I like to look up. This one's not the best example because some of the trees are broken. Here's another one. These are portals that will send your prayers directly straight to the divine. This is another great spot to say your affirmations.
Don't you know that you're toxic? And I love what you do. Don't you know that you're toxic?
Hello everybody, let's talk about eggshells and their magical uses. First, I just want to talk about how to prepare your eggshells. Now, you want to make sure that they are washed and clean because they do hold bacteria, and you also want to make sure they're dry. Now, what you just saw me doing there was separating the membrane from the eggshell. It's very important. The next thing you're going to do is grind your eggshells up into a mortar and pestle. You can grind them into a powder or you can leave them in more chunks like I do. Now, this is why you have to take the membrane. If you don't, your eggshells will not separate from each other. Eggshells have very, very strong protective properties. I like to use mine in jar spells to strengthen protective energies, as well as placing them under my front doormat just to keep an extra protective layer around my home. You can also grind your eggshells up into a finer powder to draw symbols and sigils on any kind of object. You can also mix your eggshells with other protective herbs and sprinkle around your property to create a protective circle. Some witches also use eggshells to cast circles. Sorry this isn't the best video I've done. I've been having a rough couple days and I just kind of wanted to get back into the swing of things.
When your suck's shriveled leaves wrinkle up like old cheese, mustn't worry. When the leaves do deflate, please know it's not too late, it's just thirsty.
As witches, we work very closely with the earth and the planet. So let's talk about a couple of ways that you could make your practice a little bit more eco-friendly. The first one I've spoken about before, but if you are going to be burying a spell, please do not bury it in a glass or plastic jar and do not bury the salt. The salt is very harmful for the earth and the jars are not going to rot down. Instead, use something that is biodegradable like a coffee filter. It will work just as well. If you're going to be doing a ritual outside where you are going to cast a physical circle, do not use salt. Again, salt is very harmful for the earth, so instead use crushed eggshells. They work just as well and they also rot down and give a lot of nutrients to the soil and the plants. When you are done with a candle, if the candle is in a jar, take out all of the wax and reuse the jar. You could use it to store any of your materials and then you are recycling. Recycle everything that you can in your daily life. It goes a long way to helping.
I know my girlfriend is a witch.
To all the baby witches that have found my page, oh hello, welcome. I'm a crabby, cranky, old bog witch, and I don't take no bull, and I don't deal with it, and I don't tolerate it, nor should you. So I'm going to give you one of the most pertinent pieces of advice in magic since you're starting out, since this app is full of bull. You, yourself, are magic. The magic is inside of you. Your supplies can enhance that magic. They can help manifest that magic. But remember, the magic is you. So if you're making a jar charm, and you don't have the same ingredients as other witches, but it's for protection and you know it's gonna work, it's gonna work. And if you seal it however you want, guess what? It's gonna work because you are magic, not your supplies. Remember this. You got this. No.
Hello, good morning. It's time for another episode of How the Fuck Do I Do This? Today, we're gonna make an anti-insomnia jar. I'll give you a screenshot at the end of the video telling you exactly what I used. But let's talk about insomnia for a second here. Insomnia is when you're extremely tired, you go to lay down, think you're gonna fall asleep, and then you just lay there for hours, staring at the ceiling, staring at the inside of your eyelids, because your brain won't stop talking to you. And it's fine for like the first 30 minutes, but then after that, you get so frustrated. You literally start crying because you have no idea what to do. You already tried taking sleeping pills, you tried smoking, you tried listening to some classical music even, and nothing. Eventually, you will fall asleep. And the next morning, all you wake up to are thoughts about how people are so lucky they can fall asleep on their own. And this is what I made that spell jar for. Hope you have a wonderful day. Remember that I love you.
Learn about amethyst. Helps with protection, common sense, and meditation. Enhances consciousness and spiritual awareness. Relieves stress, anxiety, and anger.
Hi guys, I'm Lexi, and here's all my crystals, and I'm a baby witch, and I bet you guys are too, so like follow me, let's become mutuals, come on now, don't be shy. But I don't want to learn alone, so like follow me so we can learn together. Bye!
Hi, let's make an antidepressant spell jar. First thing you want to do is cleanse your jar with any type of smoke. Good! Once you're done with that, you're going to add normal salt or pink Himalayan salt. And also, the measurements are completely up to you. Next, we're going to add some thyme. Again, the measurements are completely up to you. After that, you are going to add a whole rose or some rose petals. Next, you're going to add some lavender. I'm also adding some lavender oil for a little something extra. Now we add some citron. Then you're going to add your intention. Then you are going to cleanse with some white candle. The last thing you're going to do is put it in a place that receives a lot of sunlight.
Hi, welcome back to the Modern Witches Quick and Dirty Witch Tips. Here's where I tell you kind of weird witch tips and you guys have to figure out if I'm being dead serious or not. Look, figuring it out. And today's tip is literally any crystal, rock, a quartz is what I would use for this. Whenever you're really fucking angry, scream at the quartz as loud as you feel like you need to. Put that quartz in a jar. Next time you're angry, open the jar. Scream more. Bonus tip, if there's someone you really, really don't like, you can give them the quartz after a few weeks. Bonus tip, if you don't want anyone to hear you screaming at a rock like a crazy person, you can do it in the shower.
Hey baby witches, we're just getting into herb work. I have a little life hack for you that's going to make your life so much easier. Plus, it might give you the confidence to start creating your own spells. I had a random urge to clean out my spice cupboard, and as I was doing that, I noticed that I had a random surplus of certain herbs. Like I had enough to fill an entire mason jar full of just that one herb. When am I going to use that much nutmeg in my entire life? Like, I don't make that much pie. So I had the idea to look up their magical properties, because if I'm hoarding these herbs, it has to be for a reason. Plus, I heard down the line from another kitchen witch that we crave the food that has the magical properties that we want. For example, if you're having a hard time sleeping, you might crave chamomile tea. So I used Mrs. B's Guide to Household Witchery to look up each spice's magical property. So then I created a label for that spice. I have their element, what goddess they belong to, and their magical properties.
I'm back to Beginner Witch 101. So you think you've been hexed, you did some divination, and you need to do a return to sender. Let's send that shit back. On a plate or on a surface, you want to do a salt circle. Away from the salt circle, light a white candle for your protection. Take a black candle and dress it with olive oil, crushed up bay leaves, sage, and pepper flakes. You can also add some rosemary. You want to add another circle inside of the salt circle with the crushed pepper flakes. And then you want to say something like this: I remove what you have sent, because for me it was not meant. Blood to blood and bone to bone, we shall remove what you have thrown. We see you've thrown with all your might. Now drown in it in the dead of night. 10 by 10 and 3 by 3, this will be with you for eternity. Now all you're doing is sending whatever they sent to you back times 10. Say that 3 times and allow the candle to burn fully out, and then remove it from your property.
They call it Blood Cemetery. Formerly known as Pine Hill Cemetery, Blood Cemetery is located off of a country road in New Hampshire. It is considered one of the most haunted cemeteries in the state. It was established on land donated by Benjamin Parker Jr. in 1769. The namesake is derived from the blood family buried here, mainly Abel Blood, who is responsible for the hauntings. Sources have claimed that while strolling the cemetery after dark, the hand pointing upward on Abel's stone would point down. Despite online claims, the Blood family all died in natural manners and were not slain in any tragic event, but that's not to say that the ghostly apparition of a young blood boy will not flag your car down for a visit.
You want to make yourself a little self-watering moss feature. Score yourself a mini water feature. Thanks, Goodwill. Open that baby up and make sure she works. Squirt some mates to make a black. Smack, smack, slap, slap. So I'll be adding moss. I'm going to paint the whole thing in the basins. Gather a bunch of moss. Arrange. Pow. Accessorize.
And I said, Romeo, take me somewhere we can be alone. I'll be waiting. All there's left to do is run. You'll be the prince, and I'll be the princess. It's a love story, baby, just say.
Citrine. Color, yellow to yellowish brown or smoky gray-brown. Real citrine is comparatively rare. Heat-treated amethyst is often sold. As citrine, heat-treated amethyst has the same properties as natural citrine. Heated citrine will most likely be in clusters. If there's a tumble, it may have a white part. This is the amethyst bed, but turned white due to the heat. Source: Brazil, Russia, France, Madagascar, Britain, US. Citrine is an abundant stone. You can place the crystal in the wealth corner. The wealth corner is the farthest back left point from the front door into an individual room. Wear on fingers or throat in contact with skin. To bring in money, place in the wealth corner or in your money box. Citrine fades in the sun.
One way to make your own natural paint is to grind up ash from incense. This one is lavender. Use a mortar and pestle until a fine powder forms. Interact for next step. More Dollar Tree witchy finds.
This is my land, otherwise known as cowboy toilet paper. Listen to the fleece. It's so soft. You can use it to make tea, but I just think that it's cute.
When you have a decision to make, try this. This is Raidu, the symbol of emotion, decision-making, adventure, transportation, and direction. It helps you to balance your needs with the needs of those around you. And it's the harmony between your inner consciousness and outer reality. Drawing Raidu on your hand means that you are accessing your inner compass, following your heart, and allowing your actions to speak louder than your words. You're ready to boldly walk your path with sensitivity, grace, and purpose. So the next time you want to dance with the universe, let Raidu accompany you. Are you ready?
These are sea circles. They could be called something different, but that's what I call them. This is a type of land art that forms a spiral with rocks. There's always an entranceway in which you go around and around until you get to the center. What I do is I pick up a rock or I bring some kind of offering to the center with me. I make sure that I set an intention for whatever object I choose to place in the middle of the spiral. Since this circle was found by the sea, I am giving an offering to the sea spirits or sea gods. It holds a good energy as you walk to the center. This circle was pretty large, so it took a while to get to the middle. And when you reach the center of the circle, put your offering in the middle, say your intention out loud, and thank whichever energy you're giving the offering to. Seal your intention by going all the way back around. Do not cut any corners.